Look at the camera. Hi, I'm Lori.
And I'm Peter.
And I'm Hamilton.
And welcome to Action Heroes LA Heroes Character Rental Service review of the latest, well, not the latest. Lovecraft Country.
5 episodes.
Yeah, we've done our thoughts on the first episode. Now that we've seen 2 through 5, we've got a few words to say about it. Yeah. So this is HBO's Lovecraft Country that's currently coming on Sunday nights. That has us intrigued. Ham, do you want to?
Yeah, I was going to say
about.
I think anyone who wants to watch this show should watch it up to about the 5th episode, or watch the first 5 episodes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 5th episode is where everything kind of starts to really come into its own in terms of the storytelling. I like, we've been enjoying this this series. I had my issues early on because I know who H.P. Lovecraft was, and I know about his his white supremacist, strong, virulent white supremacist views. But actually, this TV show is everything I would want in a show about this particular writer's fiction and what they're doing with the story. I've never read the book Lovecraft Country, but I want to read it now that you mentioned Laurie recently.
Well, yeah, the book was somebody who wrote us a comment on our Lovecraft review, and I was going to try to look up his name just now. I didn't think to do it ahead of time. He mentioned that this is not based on H.P. Lovecraft's writing. It's based on a book by someone else called Lovecraft Country. Yeah, and it is by a white dude who wrote about black people in the 50s and dealing with racism and monsters and shit. So, which is really interesting. And the first episode, I thought, this is really well done and interesting. And I imagine myself watching a few episodes and probably losing interest because I've mentioned many times, I'm not a horror film person, and I just didn't see this kind of captivating me. And it's been every Sunday now. It's like, get your popcorn. Let's watch this time for Lovecraft Country. What are they going to do? What are they going to do next? Because they are doing a lot. They're doing a lot of stuff. So, Peter, you want to pipe in on?
Well, I am a horror guy. Ever since I was a little kid, I used to, on Sundays, the TV was mine. And that's when they had Chiller, Creature Feature, the Outer Limits, Thriller. They just had everything. Because back then you only had one TV in the house. One. Well, anyway.
With the knob, change the channel.
Well, usually the pliers.
The pliers, because we lost the knob.
I think this was before vice grips.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. We're old.
Yeah. But from the first episode to now, I've just been captivated.
Yeah.
I love it. I used to read books and magazines and things like this that were horror.
And it's kind of a tribute to black people who did, and kind of like, kind of enlightening. It's like,
that's true.
We read this stuff too.
Yeah. And the thing is that I was able to guess certain things when they would say, "Hey, look this." I said, "Yeah," because they said this, So I thought it was set up very well without being overboard and telling you things. It just happened in conversation. And man, episodes 1 through 4 were really good. Episode 5 had my feet in the chair, although I was still, bundled up and sitting down. So it was Unreal.
I just remember we were in here and I had on episode 2 for you. And I had to leave out and do something. When I came back, you were literally on the edge of your chair.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's always a saying, but when somebody is literally on their edge of the chair watching something,
oh, yeah.
you know it's good.
Well, I just want to clarify though, this is based on the writer H.P. Lovecraft's
Yeah, it
fiction,
is.
but it's another writer.
Another writer. It's not
Well,
based on anything
Lovecraft
particular.
Country,
I
But
think you wrote. There's
it's
a
really-
novel that it's following along.
It makes me want to read the book though, because I find this show to be really original and like it keeps me like wanting to see another, see more of this kind of world I've never seen before. And I like, in particular, the villains in you don't really understand their motivations exactly, but you just know that they're very,
Hate people.
yeah, yes, to put it
Sorry,
succinctly.
that was
It
enough.
just happened to be white, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing that makes this so interesting to me was you have the racism, you have the horror, and you have the black people dealing with both at the same time.
Yeah.
And that is such an incredible mix. Whoever wrote this knew what they were doing.
Well, we have the showrunner, Misha Green, the person who commented. I think she wrote the first 3 episodes, which is pretty impressive, to do that.
Well, this was
Show creator, I should say too.
incredible. Even there was a couple of noisy scenes. We'll just say for those of you who have not seen it, on how they did it, and they kept the realism of it. Nothing is, until the 5th episode, is really too graphic. It's just so happens to be.
It's about on par what you'd expect in horror genres. It's like,
I
okay,
think-
some of it's a little over top, campy, some of it's like pretty well done. And
I think the first 4 episodes, you guys are just really good world building. I was surprised to see some of the references that they put in and stuff. Like I mentioned the whole Black Indiana Jones thing, but I think that was an intentional reference to.
well, I think one of the things I love
Jones.
about I don't
No. I'm just saying, I think like they've created, like I said, this world I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I want to see more of it. But they've been building this world for the last 4 episodes, and then they give you a payoff in the 5th episode, which I think makes it all like really like worthwhile. Like, okay, now I understand a little more about what this whole thing is, after seeing the 5th episode.
I don't know if I feel that way after the 5th episode, and maybe I need to rewatch it. But honestly, y'all, I don't
Really?
think I can.
Really?
I don't care. That one was a rough watch. It was almost a deal breaker. It's like watching it is like
I
they're
thought
gonna
it
go
was
here.
interesting because
If they're gonna go this kind of like graphic, I don't know if I can keep watching. But at the same time, it's like I gotta see what happens next.
I love. I mean, there was when they were in that ceremony. I don't want to give away stuff, but it reminded me of Get Out.
Which one?
I think it was like
The second episode, first episode.
I think it was episode
Second now.
3. Episode 2.
2, yeah.
Episode 2. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know, this. I've never seen a show like this, but I want to see more of this. This is interesting to me.
The point I wanted to bring, one thing that I really find interesting is taking a lot of genre, like you have the adventure genre, like Indiana Jones, you have sci-fi, you have horror, you have they're doing slasher, they're doing ghost stories, in which black people were never the center of those stories, and you're putting black people as the center of the stories, and you're also talking about the Black experience. You're tapping into what the Black experience is through your character, through these stories. That's really unique, and how that all together just makes this that this show is like nothing, nothing else.
I agree.
You know, it's doing all of those things. And watching it's like the fifth episode was. I mean, it's fascinating that the whole topic is like it gives one character a chance. Is like if she could be white, you know, what she would experience, you know, what she would think, you know, how that would mess with her psychologically, but they do it in really, really graphic terms. Some like brilliant special effects, so I'm like, that's some horror stuff I had never seen before.
Well, you see, like the movie that we watched, I can't remember the name of it. I was a white woman, or
I Passed for White.
I Passed for White.
Yeah, we just watched that, and then we get this episode.
Well, the thing is that they go, in a lot of ways, they go very deep, because they said, you know, they kind of said, if this happened, it's not just this, but it's that, and then this would happen, and then.
Oh, you're saying if this situation, this is the scenarios, like how would this woman feel if she
they didn't just
in this skin in a department store,
how
in this
would you
skin
feel?
in her,
and now you're interacting with people. So what would you do? How would you feel? What would you say? And so they went, to me, they went very deep with the characters, but in some of them, they're going deep like this. In others, they're telling a story, and you find more out about them as they go along. So what I like about this is that each episode, they tell a full story, but
there's enough to lead.
There's enough
till for what happens next.
What happens next, and it's not just episode 1, episode 2, but episode 2 really doesn't have anything to do with episode 1.
Yeah.
No, the whole thing.
Well, there's a thread leading through all the episodes. It's leading to something. It's what kind of keeps you going. It's like, okay, I got to see what happens to these people next, because they're on a search, they're on a quest, basically. And so you have these kind of unique individual episodes that kind of explore different genres, and while tying into the overall arching story, it also has a specific thing it wants to say about the Black culture experience, different elements of the Black culture experience.
Yeah. And from what we've been watching, they don't skip over anything. They tell you everything, and you're like, what? 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 So it's like, I have to see it again. I have to see more. And everything is giving you a feeling. Every person there has a feeling, and they completely flush that out, and they're going through it.
Yeah.
And it's really good storytelling, and I'm just thoroughly into it.
Yeah. Well, it's HBO. It's kind of like this is why you follow their series, is because they're very rich and very good at telling stories and like this, and doing like high concept stuff, and going places like, you know, very graphic
I want
moments
to say
and things like that.
I really like the Jonathan Majors and Jurnee Smollett characters and their interactions, and I really like the Michael K. Williams character, especially in the last episode. I thought it was interesting how his character's his story arc is kind of developed.
Yeah, and this is a TV series, so different characters are going to get a chance to develop. Now, like the Ruby character has been my favorite character up to this point. And she had the episode 5 was about her, and. So anyway,
I don't know who the villain. I don't know who she is, but I think she's really interesting to watch.
Well, you just gave some. No,
well, I don't know who the actress is.
Yeah, I know. These creepy looking, white people, blonde hair, blue eye, just creepy. They're just all weird looking. But that's the point. Yeah, that's kind of a.
I
like the fact that this show is really smart, but I don't feel like it's woke or whatever. It's just a very interesting concept for a show.
I mean, it's not. It's
and I don't tend to watch a lot of horror stuff, but I'm not averse to horror. But it has to be well done, and I think this is very well done.
Well, I think it's because it just, everything that's on it just happens. And I don't think, it doesn't seem anything is forced. It just happens.
Well, I think what you're saying, like I said, there doesn't seem to be any kind of woke messages. It's just, like I said, it's touched on, it's trying to show you the Black experience. It's not trying to tell you to feel any one way or other about it.
That's exactly
it's just
what I like about it.
This is what we go through. This is how we react to these situations and stuff,
of what these characters are experiencing.
Yeah, and I find a lot of shows that have, been about, this is my favorite thing in the last few years, a lot of Black creators, showrunners, movie makers in charge of telling their own story, and just this is our experience.
Right.
I'm not trying to preach to you about anything. I'm just trying to.
It's interesting to watch. I
say on our experiences, whether you relate to it or not, and I don't care if you do.
I think even for people who aren't Black, they can.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's usually I love. I love the show Insecure on HBO because they have a lot. They have a lot of white people who love the show, even though it's not trying to, that's not the audience it's going for. It's strictly to a Black audience, basically.
Right.
And a lot of stuff it's, I don't know if they would get that, but, and this is, like I said, it's
I guess when
really
I say
enjoyable.
It doesn't feel woke. It's not like they're pushing any particular agendas.
Like I said, they're just showing you, they're just expressing the experience, and they're not trying to tell you to feel one way or the other.
No.
It's just what it is.
No, I think it's fascinating. I think the matter of fact way they portray racism in the 50s, in the beginning, I don't want to give anything away, but the way they portray the interaction of the characters with the cops is very matter of fact. It's like, it was very racist.
Scarier than horror parts.
In touching on the racism, you can also tell and see that, like at any time, there's a lot of people who just aren't. There's a lot of white people on there who just aren't racist. And then you have the ones who are definitely racist, and then you have the ones in the middle who
you got people burning crosses.
No, but that's
people's
that's the racist. But you have people on there who are not racist at all, and then you have the people who are caught in the middle, where they're not really racist, but they have to kind of, because if they don't get to keep their place, or they look as, even though they're just like, people are just people. But they have people there who are, if you don't think like us, then you must think like them. And it's not a here or there, or this way or that way. It's just, look, I'm just let people live.
Yeah, no, but I think the way they're portraying the 50s, they're showing a lot of the racism. I mean, there's
well, you see that because
poor Bobo.
That was And I hate to sound like a white apologist, but that was the time.
No, but I'm saying I think it's interesting. There's a scene where the cop tells him they have to get out of town.
Sure.
You know, before sundown or whatever, and
Sure.
that's very real. Like we've heard about that, but
Yes.
just for them to just sort of matter of factly just sort of portray this happening is fascinating to watch. I haven't seen a show that I can think of recently that touched on stuff like this in such an interesting way.
Well, see, that's the thing. It does touch on it in a very interesting way. And it says, oh yeah, there's this, there's good, there's bad.
I still don't see those like neutral white people you're talking about, though.
Well, see,
Yeah.
I do. And maybe it's because I've
I
experienced that.
You're projecting it.
I don't know.
No, I
It's
can
pretty black
kind of
and white, and
see
it's
like the last
side
episode
of
we
the
had a lot of characters interacting with Ruby. Some you could tell outright racist. The other ones were just kind of like silly and airheaded, not really, you know, not they. I mean, they're just their circumstances. Like they don't understand what's going on
Right.
with this
And then you have
person
the
that's not
people
part
who-
of their group, but
Yeah.
they're not like overtly or intentionally trying to downgrade that
Right,
person.
but they'll go, oh, we're going to go to your side of town. What do you mean, my side? I thought the whole town was all of ours, you know. So yes, you have those people who will say, we're going to go to your side
Like
of
I
town.
said, it's not
But they're not thinking they're being racist,
Right.
and they're not. But
Like-
this is just the only language that they know.
like I said, they kind of don't understand how they're,
Yeah.
you know, and there's a lot of people like that. But anyway, that's Lovecraft Country's been a real interesting. I'm surprised I'm having this much fun with the horror show.
I'm enjoying it.
And although, like I said, I'm gonna watch next week, but I don't think I could take another episode as intense as 5 if they're gonna go.
Yes.
You know, it could be a deal breaker if they go that hard again.
Yeah.
You know?
I gotta say though, I loved
guy.
episode 5.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about it is just the graphic nature, and I mean, and so something happens to somebody at the end of this episode that I'm like, oh man. But at the same time, I thought back, you know what?
You might not want to watch the
Slaves.
boys if you feel
Slaves
that way
probably
about
had it a lot worse than this dude, honestly.
No, you might not want to watch
So-
the
Well,
boys
I'm telling you, and I'll do this real
because
quick.
it's more graphic than this.
This is how I was by the end of episode 5, and it was so that I could launch myself through the roof if I needed.
I don't know. There must be
Alright,
something
what you
wrong with
said,
me,
yeah.
yo. I was watching this on my phone in bed and just.
Oh, you're watching. We had it on this damn screen,
I
man.
was just.
You know you were like watching it on your
I was
phone.
very comfortable
Dude.
the whole time. And
No
entertained.
wonder why.
No,
Jeez,
see,
man.
The people
This
on this screen,
this shit was graphic. And you know-
they were our size or bigger.
Right.
We got it
okay.
like 4 by 5 feet
No, I'm
blown
telling
up.
you.
You watching it on like 5 inches here.
I'll tell you, maybe that's the advantage watching it on a
Oh,
small
you no
screen.
wonder why. I'm like, dude, you didn't. That was like in the dark in here.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was listening to you, I was like, trying to be respectful, but I
He's
didn't.
like, oh no, I thought that was pretty
I thought,
alright.
yeah, I thought it was like,
dude.
I think it was pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, oh, yeah, we'll put it on in here for you to watch. That.
Yeah, because if they were on there and they swung, you ducked.
Yes.
Oh,
When the surround sound and all that stuff, and her.
I just thought the whole
Okay.
concept of the show was interesting.
and you know if
So
somebody,
we will watch it together
No,
if
next time.
somebody
Right?
slammed their fist
Oh,
down
is it-
and they went boom, you went.
Well, we
That's
will.
your
When is the
reverberate.
next episode? Is what, Tuesday?
Sunday, because we're on Sunday. So
We'll watch
that's
it.
Lovecraft Country. I think we'll watch it another. I don't know how many episodes are in the season. I have to
I think
figure
it's
out.
like
Watch.
maybe 8, something
Oh,
like that.
okay. So we'll watch. I think we'll. I don't want to do an episode by episode of this because it just trying to set all this stuff off is a lot. But
Yeah,
I
no.
think we'll watch another batch
If
and
you
decide
haven't
what we
started
want to
watching
do.
this yet, I highly recommend it.
I
Yeah,
recommend
very
it if you
interesting.
like horror and
It's-
you gotta be prepared for some graphic stuff though, or maybe just watch it on your phone. It might be alright. So,
Yeah, but
so what Lovecraft Country? If you watched the if you watched the first 5 episodes, leave us some comments. What do you think? And let us know. Let's have a discussion about this stuff.
Please.
Please. And we out.
We out.
We out. He's out.
I'm
Good
out.
night, y'all. Can I stop?